don't see the hypocrisy here?
It is hypocrisy in those that may read and interpret it as such.
You're saying that people should live in smaller houses because larger houses contribute to CO2 emissions?
100%, Senator. Space meant for students who must reside at a university.
You don't see the hypocrisy in that?
It is your finding and interpretation, sir.
But you don't see the irony of the hypocrisy?
I'm going to go ahead and say no.
Okay.
You're about to watch the double standard get exposed in real time. Senator John Kennedy corners a Tulane professor who signed a letter demanding elite universities reject fossil fuel money. Sounds noble, till Kennedy points out Tulane took $25 million from an oil family. He asks the obvious question, did you tell them to give it back? Suddenly, the moral high ground disappears. And it gets worse. This same professor lectures Americans to live in smaller houses to cut emissions, while his own university keeps building massive new complexes. Regulate you. Do as they please. Stay with me, because after this clip, we're breaking down exactly what this means.
Professor Keenan, you teach at Tulane?
Yes, sir, I do. I have that privilege.
And you have your own website, KeenanClimate.com, is that right?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. And you describe yourself on your website as a globally recognized thought leader. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you give paid speeches, do you?
On occasion, I do.
You have your own agent, I believe, according to your website, Lee Bureau?
This is correct.
And how much do you charge per speech?
It varies depending on the audience, the amount of preparation work that goes, and the amount of follow-through.
The last paid speech you gave, how much did you receive?
I'm happy to follow up on.
You don't remember?
I do not.
Do you give that money to Tulane?
I do not.
You keep it?
Yes, this is outside of my capacity as a professor.
Right.
As is standard course.
Now, you recently sent a letter you recently joined a lot of other academics. You signed a letter demanding that elite institutions and universities stop accepting money from fossil fuel companies. Is that correct?
This is correct.
You consider Tulane an elite university?
I would like to think that we have a high standard of excellence in our education and our research.
Okay. Well, the Murphy family of Murphy Oil and the Deming family of Murphy Oil have recently given Tulane $25 million. Have you called on Tulane to give that money back?
Well, it's not, they didn't give that money to my unit or the department or school that I work in.
Have you called on Tulane to give that money back, or you think that's okay for them to keep it?
It's their prerogative, not mine.
Okay. But yet you just signed a letter saying that all elite universities should refuse fossil fuel money. Did you put a footnote in there and say, except my own?
Well, what I'd like to say, Senator, is that I believe it raises a conflict of interest for those that research climate change that are supported by the fossil fuel industry.
Yeah, but then why don't you ask Tulane to give the $25 million back?
Well, I think in the context, if that money were to be used to support climate research, information, disinformation, or whatever it may be, then that may be an appropriate conflict of interest. But I think in the context of which
you don't see the hypocrisy here?
It is hypocrisy in those that may read and interpret it as such.
Maybe it's like Washington. If there weren't double standards, there wouldn't be standards at all. Let me ask you this. You also participated in another article here criticizing Houston for building new buildings and McMansions. And you said, I'm going to read your quote. I don't want to misquote you, Professor. That means we have to change our consumer preferences. You could have a super efficient, energy efficient mega mansion in Houston or the suburbs, but it's still a mansion. You're still over-consuming space. Did you say that?
Yes, sir. That's based on work as a member of the IPCC. Our research suggested that reducing our footprint in terms of total spatial footprint would have significant impacts on the decarbonization of the built environment.
And so you're saying that people should live in smaller houses because larger houses contribute to CO2 emissions?
100%, Senator.
Okay. Well, recently, Tulane finished the Commons. It was 77,000 square feet, $55 million. Recently, Tulane finished the Gold Ring Woldenberg Business Complex, $35 million to complete, 92,000 square feet. Boy, that's a McMansion. Mustapher Hall, 23,000 square feet. Paul Hall, 36,000 square feet. Richardson Hall, 50,000 square feet. Housing redevelopment phase 1, 230,000 square feet at Tulane. Have you called upon Tulane to stop these buildings?
Sir, the habitable space within those units are roughly the size of the conference room back there and are indeed quite small.
But they contribute to... Does
everything that we do, sir.
The Commons contribute more to climate change than a McMansion in Houston? You were pretty quick to criticize the people of Houston for wanting to build, you thought, McMansions. But you don't criticize your own university?
I don't find that to be equivocal comparison between space meant for students who must reside at a university.
You don't see the hypocrisy in that?
It is your finding and interpretation, sir.
But you don't see the irony of the hypocrisy?
I'm going to go ahead and say no.
Okay. I kind of gathered that would be your answer.
What did you just watch? Senator Kennedy didn't just ask questions, he laid bare the double standard, preach ethics publicly, but profit privately. This is what happens when academic elites play morality police while protecting their own perks. If you want real accountability, not just lectures, you need to see this for what it is: political posturing, corporate hypocrisy, and a university elite that thinks rules don't apply to them. This professor preaches that elite universities should refuse fossil fuel money. Meanwhile, his own university just took $25 million from oil companies, and he stays silent. He charges huge fees for speeches, runs his own website, yet acts shocked if anyone calls out the double standard. And get this, he criticizes people for living in big homes, but Tulane builds massive new buildings and student housing, literal megastructures, without him blinking an eye. His rules clearly don't apply to him or his institution. Senator Kennedy ripped through it all: preach virtue publicly, profit privately. That's not science, it's hypocrisy masquerading as morality. This is exactly what's wrong with elite academia: big talk, no accountability, protecting your own perks while lecturing the rest of America.